Got that penny loafer.
Hello, Squeekers. It's Penny here. Today, I would love to take you on a little trip down memory lane with Twin One Pilots. Since the lore has come to a close, I thought it felt right to go back and talk about all the lore-related albums, like what they've meant to me, the memories I have with each album, and my favorite parts of the album. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Blurryface, the beginning of the lore. It's crazy to even wrap my head around the fact that this album's already a decade old already. Makes me feel old. First off, this album means a lot to me because it's how I discovered 21 Pilots in the first place. I have my brother to thank for this. He was the one who introduced me to the band in 2016. Before I was introduced to 21 Pilots, all I really knew about them was their album Blurryface and their popular songs, Stressed Out, Ride, etc. I didn't know who made them, but I remember them being pretty catchy. After my brother showed me Hometown, the first proper song I listened to, knowing it was by this 21 Pilots, I was like, wait, this band sounds familiar, and the album does too. And I made that connection this was the same band who wrote Stressed Out and Ride. I didn't really consider myself a hardcore fan of them yet. I just knew about this one album and didn't listen to their whole discography. Little did I know that this was the beginning of one of my greatest obsessions. Now, some of my favorite parts of this album have to be the music videos and the album cover. The overall aesthetic of them was amazing. The whole persona and introduction of Blurryface was so iconic. I wasn't really aware of the story going on at the time. I just knew I really liked the music video for Stressed Out. Honestly, seeing anything in black or red, a red beanie, or a simple circle pattern makes me think of this album. Blurryface is truly unforgettable. My personal favorite music video from this album has to be Fairly Local, or Stressed Out, of course. I love those videos so much, but Hometown will always hold a special place in my heart and be my favorite Blurryface song because it'll always remind me of how I first got into liking the band. I love this album so much. Now this is a special album to me. This is the album/era that made my top obsession truly take off, and the first era I experienced from start to finish. I remember the hype, no pun intended, for this album when the boys posted for the first time after going completely radio silent after Blurryface for quite some time. Once I listened to Jumpsuit and Nico and the Niners, this kickstarted my obsession once again, like big time. It's when I first grasped onto the fact that there was an overarching story going on, but still didn't truly understand who everyone was or what was really happening. I knew at this very moment Top wasn't gonna be just another band that I kind of like. They were gonna be my new favorite band. I absolutely loved Trench in its entirety the first listen through. I remember absolutely loving Neon Gravestones, Bandito, and Leave the City the most. Not only did I listen to Trench for the first time through in this era, but all of the other albums too. That's when I truly started to fall in love with 21 Pilots. The aesthetic of the album was so beautiful. I remember especially loving the Jumpsuit music video just because of how green everything was. I'm a sucker for nature. This will always be a special album to me. had it not been for Trench, I don't know if I'd even be into 21 Pilots or have this channel. It's pretty crazy to think about. This is also a special album to me, but for different reasons than Trench. My first impression of this album was like a majority of the clique. I honestly didn't know what to think of it, because this sounded way different than what their music normally sounded like. I do remember liking their singles Shy Away, Choker, and Saturday before the album release. After the album release, I really liked Good Day, No Chances, Mulberry Street, and Redecorate too. But I honestly wasn't sure about the rest of them. But over time, all of them grew on me, of course. I realized it was just what everyone needed to get through COVID. I didn't realize they made the music sound the way it did because of lore purposes and propaganda. This was also the first era that I went to my first ever Top concert. Boy, was that special. My family took a trip down to Denver, Colorado to see them at the Ball Arena during the Takeover tour. I will never forget the chills running down my spine when I saw the boys in person for the first time. I couldn't believe I was actually seeing them live and in person. It was a really special concert to me because I had no idea what to expect. Nothing beats that first time seeing 21 Pilots live. Not only was this a special concert to me and my family, but it was also special to Tyler because this was his first ever arena show he had done since before COVID hit, and expressed to everyone that he didn't know if he'd ever get to perform in an arena again. That made the show even more special. After the show, I remember thinking that it was the best concert I had ever been to. It blew whatever unknown expectations I had out of the water. They truly put on such a memorable and exciting show, and it definitely became one of my core memories. Little did I know, the year following that concert, Top would be on tour again, but this time in my home state, Arizona. I knew we had to go again because of how well my first Top show went. All thanks to my sister, who I'm still in debt to for my ticket to this day. I'm very sorry. We were able to make it happen. This show was exciting because I got to dress up a bit more elaborately for the show. I got this cute little pink hair extension and wore my Skilled and Icy shirt too. This show was a lot like the first one, but nonetheless, I still had the most amazing time. I couldn't wait until I could go to another concert of theirs. One of my favorite parts about this era is definitely the aesthetic. I'm a huge fan of the pastel and bright color theme they had going on. It was so appealing to the eye. I especially loved Tyler's pink cotton candy hair too. I will never forget it. I argue it's one of his best hairstyles he's ever done for an era. Secondly, this album means a lot to me because it truly reflects my personality. I'm full of creativity, joyful, and I'm artistic. I mentioned this in one of my Q&As, that the whole hiding and pretending bit of that era really resonates with my autism. Yes, I have autism. Some of you probably already noticed, or maybe you don't. I face a lot of challenges with autism, and it's sometimes hard to communicate those challenges to people outside of relatives and close friends who don't have it. So sometimes I don't express much about it at all. But over time, through God and prayer, it has become a bit easier to talk about it, and I'm proud of that. That's mainly why I connect with the album and love it so much. I miss the Skilled and Icy era so much. Some days I wish I could relive it all over again. It was a very special era for me.
Got that penny loafer squeak, cross linoleum, big flex, complex, Napoleon. I say whatever and whatever that I want.
Now this album means everything to me for so many reasons. I'm sure my long-term fans know why that is. Clancy is the album that I pretty much watched the hype built up from start to finish. I remember being so excited for this because it had been 3 years since we last gotten an album from them. After watching the premiere for Overcompensate, I just had a feeling this era was going to be one of their best because it was the end of the war, or what we thought was the end. Little did I know how much this era would impact me. It all started with the Clancy pajama stream. After watching and listening to the entire record, I truly believed, and still believe, this is a no-skip album. It was just that good. Believe it or not, Lavish wasn't my favorite song when I first listened to it at the Clancy listening party. I think it had to do with not being able to hear the song very well, but I didn't feel immediately attached to it like the others. I really liked Midwest Indigo, Snapback, and Paladin Straight the most after the first listen. The pajama stream is truly what made me fall in love with Lavish and is pretty much the reason why I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It was truly just seeing the song of the music video that changed my mind about it. I remember laughing the entire time Tyler and Josh were doing their silly dancing and goofiness. That's what ultimately made me decide, okay, I really like this song now. Shortly after watching the stream, that's when my brother helped me come up with an amazing video idea of compiling all of the Clancy music videos and trimming just the E sound out of it. I had no idea this would be the start of something absolutely incredible. My first ever video, posted on a dead channel, soon to be named Penny Loafer Squeak with no subscribers, mind you, blew up with 50,000 views in just 3 weeks. I'll be honest, I didn't have a lot of faith in it doing well, but God's plans were far greater. In less than a month, I had already surpassed 1,000 Squeekers. I had so many thoughts, like, how can so many people enjoy my channel with almost everything revolving around Lavish and including it, or Proctologist and Bottomless in almost all of my videos? It seemed ridiculous, but you guys loved my ridiculousness. See why the Clancy era is so special to me? This is the era where God led me to help encourage and uplift people with my positivity, humor, and love for Top and Christ. Some people I've grown very close to now, which I couldn't be more grateful for. I think you know what my favorite part of this era was. The hype for Clancy, of course, but it was also the creation and outstanding growth of my channel, and the amazing Squeaker community God brought into my life. The Clancy concert was another favorite part of the era too. The show was great, like always. It had its silly moments, like Lavish, of course, emotional moments like the craving, I cried, and breathtaking moments like the whole torchbearer sequence and the reveal of Dema. The last part I want to talk about is the aesthetic. I remember when I first saw Tyler in the mask, I thought he looked like Black Panther. Can't you see a resemblance besides there not being a space for the eyes? The whole fire aesthetic too was quite literally fire. I loved it from the moment I saw it, and seeing it with the new logo with the fire background popping up on random billboards was pretty awesome. It was definitely bittersweet to see this Clancy era come to an end because all the amazing memories and everything God helped me to accomplish during it. Every time I listen to that album, I think of all those wonderful memories. It had to be one of the most lavish eras I experienced. Breach, the final Lore album. This era was a bit of a surprise to me. Yes, of course, I'd seen the theories about a double album theory going around, and I just remember thinking it couldn't be possible, considering they had just released Clancy the year before and wouldn't have the time to produce music that quickly. But then they announced the album on Skilled and Icy's 4th birthday. I was very excited about this, of course. One of my favorite memories was listening to the contract for the first time. It honestly blew away so many of my expectations the first time I listened to it. I was completely mesmerized with the music video and just the song itself. It had everything we could have asked for in a top song. The release of Breach was one of my favorite memories too, especially getting to see how the lore ended in the City Walls video, which at first I was pretty devastated by, but then a few days later, I was content with it because it was the most realistic ending we could have gotten. It was an amazing music video visually too. I love seeing all the flashbacks to previous music videos and the amazing fight scene between Clancy and Nico. Honestly, such a special way to end it with the credits and all. Finally, the best memory I have of this era is going to my first Lower Bowl 21 Pilots concert. I had such an amazing view of Tyler and Josh and was able to snap amazing pictures and videos. I bought the concert merch for the first time and was mere feet away from Tyler and Josh at certain moments. That replays in my head almost every day. It was so surreal to me. It's still surreal. It was hard to leave the venue that night because I don't know when I'll be able to see them live again. Hopefully it won't be too long. Some of my favorite songs from Breach are Center Mass, Tally, and Downstairs. I immediately fell in love with them the first time I listened to them. Honestly, the entire album was amazing, but those are the songs I see myself coming back to the most. I love them so much. The entire aesthetic of Breach was absolutely amazing. It was the perfect blend of blurryface and Clancy with the red and black. Probably one of my favorite album covers of theirs too. I loved Tyler's Breach outfit and Josh's red eyeliner the most. So much so, it's what I wore to the Breach concert, which has to be my favorite top concert outfit. The Breach era has meant a lot to me. One, because it's the album that concluded a 10-year storyline that we all grew up with. That's a pretty big reason. The lore is what's made Top the band that they are today. Secondly, it's the era I've embraced every moment of. I bought quite a bit of Top Breach merch. I believe this is the era I bought the most merch in. I went all out with my outfit for the Top Breach concert because I knew it was going to be my last concert for a while. And I enjoyed every second of being in the lower section of the concert. Lastly, it's the era I really grew my faith with God. I feel like he's given me so much courage sharing about him in my Squeaker community these last few months. Breach has been such a memorable era for sure. These last 10 years of the 21 Pilots lore has been so special. It's fun to look back on each of those lore eras and reminisce on all the memories that came along with every one. Each era means something different to everyone, and that's what I love most. It's what inspired me to share my whole story about getting in the top. Starting Penny Loafer Squeak in 2024 was such a special chapter in my life as well. Gaining 1,000 subscribers in less than a month, creating one of the most lavish communities around, and just sharing my love for Top to so many other people who love them too. With that being said, there is something I've been wanting to do for quite some time. Since it's the new year and the perfect time to start a new chapter, I have decided to reveal my face to you all at the end of the video. It's so exciting. It just feels right after talking about the end of a chapter for Top, you know? I came to this decision on my own. Not because of everyone on my channel who wanted me to do it in the past, but because I felt like God called me to. I've established such a solid community, perhaps the kindest community I've been a part of. I feel like so many of you have gotten to know me so well over the past year. I thought, what better time to do this than at the beginning of a new year and starting a new chapter. I also thought since the Clancy mask was no longer in play at the end of the war and we're closing their chapter on the Dema storyline, I'd, in a sense, be doing the same thing. My Clancy mask will no longer be in play and therefore concluding a chapter in my YouTube journey of always hiding behind a mask. It'll be a new chapter for me and for Top. Anyways, let's get on with the face reveal. It is gonna be so lavish.
What's the matter? Isn't helping you go. I wish your parents would stop yelling. You know it scares me. No, it's stupid. Then you go. Wait, who's the new kid? Then you go. Not getting stronger. And now I can't seem to sit still any longer.
It is I, Penny Loafer Squeak, in the flesh. Wow. This is such a surreal moment. For years, I've always been camera shy and never wanted to show myself in videos. I've gained so much more confidence in myself through God and the support of my family and the Squeaker community. I can't wait for this lavish new chapter of Penny Loafer Squeak. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. Welcome to the new way of living. It's just the beginning of my face. Anyways, I really hope you all enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun going down memory lane with each of the lore albums and revealing my face. I'm sure that was a very lavish surprise. See you all in my next video, Squeekers. And as always, happy squeaking.